Hello, everyone. My name is Katie Cleary, and I am a program manager here at Magic. And I'm very excited because we have one of our lovely mentee mentor pairs here from the girls' middle school. And they are going to just talk a little bit about the project they worked on together and what it was like working together during the 2024-2025 session. So we'll start off by having the two of you introduce yourselves. Lucia, if you could start us off.
I'm Lucia. I'm a sixth grader at the girls' middle school.
Wonderful, thank you. And Anne, if you could also introduce yourself.
My name is Anne. I'm a software engineer at Google, and I've been mentoring at Get Magic since 2018.
Wonderful. Thank you both so much. I appreciate you taking the time to sit down and have me interview you. Lucia, can you tell us just a little bit about your project and what made you choose that for as your project for this session?
Okay, so one of my projects is called Mole on Earther, and it's a web game where it's basically like whack-a-mole.
Mhm.
Um, and it's like really fun to play. And the reason I chose this project is because I wanted to learn the basics of being able to code a game. And also, I think coding a game is just like really fun.
Okay, wonderful. And had you had previous coding experience, whether it's through school or another STEM program?
So at school, we have a class called computer science, and we did a bit of coding on this software named Scratch.
Mhm.
And when I was little, I went to, I think, this program called Code Academy. Yeah.
Wonderful. That's great. So you had a little bit of experience with coding before, it sounds like. But what are one or two things that you found surprising through your experience at Magic when learning coding?
Um, I think what was surprising was there's a lot of different ways of coding. So like there's different like loops and arrays. They're like I think before I only knew like the basic coding, but during my mentoring, it allowed me to expand on my um um like learning or like what allowed me to expand my learning on coding and learn more.
That's wonderful to hear. So it sounds like you went into this experience maybe expecting to learn a few new things, but you really went above and beyond what you thought you maybe would learn during this session. Do I have that right?
Yes.
Okay, well, wonderful. Um, so what, you know, in that experience of maybe going beyond what you thought would initially happen, do you see yourself carrying that lesson into other areas of your life or school?
Um, I think I do.
Hmm.
For for coding, I think
Hmm.
it opens a lot of doors to more opportunities for the future for me.
Hmm.
Um, so like I have more options for like my career in the future.
Hmm.
Mm.
Well, great. And that's so wonderful to hear, especially considering that you are a sixth grader. And so to hear you already thinking about your career aspirations is just wonderful. And so thank you so much, Lucia, for sharing with us about your experience. I may have one or two more questions for you, but I do want to talk with Anne a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, about the mentee mentor partnership. And I think a lot of people assume that the majority of the learning will take place on the mentee's part. But can you tell us some things that you've learned through your partnership with Lucia?
That is a great question. Um, I think what I've learned from this experience with Lucia is um, I think she is very hardworking and um, always does her part of
Mhm.
doing her homework, even though like sometimes there's a lot of homeworks and assignments and also like projects are also very challenging. But I feel like she's um, always tried her best to finish all the assignments by herself, um, and that inspired me.
Wonderful. Yes, I know that I always feel very inspired by our mentees and all that
Yeah,
they learn. So it's wonderful to hear that you also feel inspired by your work
yeah.
with Lucia. So
Mm.
on that note, you mentioned in your intro that you have been mentoring with Magic since 2018. So um, what is something, or whether it's advice or just a bit of encouragement to a fellow women in STEM who may be considering mentoring with Magic? What is something that you would tell them so that they would apply and become a mentor with us?
That like the things I can tell like the future mentors or something like that.
Yeah, just like, hey, Anne, I'm thinking of applying, but I'm not quite sure. Like, what would you tell them to encourage them to apply?
What I
Mm,
enjoy the most is definitely working with mentees.
mhm,
Every mentor-mentee relationship is unique. Um, I had a lot of good experience with all my past mentees, and I definitely had a wonderful experience with Lucia.
mhm,
I enjoy watching these girls to
mhm,
learn. For example, Lucia, she learned very fast, even though she's only a sixth grader. I'm very surprised. That's kind of out of my expectation, and that also
mhm,
encouraged me to like teach more and have her to do more things, you know.
mhm,
um, and watching her, observing Lucia to progress during this
mhm,
magic experience, where like few months ago where she started and where she is right now. I think that's like a definitely accomplishment for her, and I
mhm.
like definitely very happy to see that progress.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing. And I hope that lots of potential mentors watch this and see how much that they can get out of the experience by working with our future STEM uh, career people. So, and Lucia, I'm going to ask a similar question to you to wrap it up. So say that, either it's one of your friends or maybe a new student at your school next year is considering applying for Magic, but they're not sure. They're a little nervous. What is something you would tell them, whether it's about your experience or a bit of advice to encourage them to apply?
Um, what I would say to them is that I think it would be a really good opportunity for them.
Mhm,
And it would also like expand their knowledge
mhm,
of because expand their knowledge like a bit more to open more pathways in life. Um, and I think I'll tell them that it's also like really fun and you get to learn a lot and that's about coding and it's super fun.
mhm. Wonderful. I think that sums up what we hope for Magic perfectly, that everybody learns something and everybody has fun while doing it. So, thank you both so much, not just for sitting down and having me interview you, but just for your dedication, hard work. This session, you both should just be so proud of yourselves. And again, thank you.
You